Hello and welcome to KTN Newsdesk. This is the 28th day of August 2013 and you're here with me, Bonny Tunya, where news is brought to you as it happens. Now coming on this particular bulletin, we'll be bringing you details about Atwoli and his pronouncements regarding the procurement process of NSSF. Also, we'll take a tour to Nyeri, Igoji and Kisumu with the latest in news, but also in business. We have reports of the resignation of Home Africa CEO just months after the company listed. Stay tuned. Welcome to the program. KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has called on the government to amend laws that took away the NSSF's board's powers to approve tenders in procurement. This comes in the wake of an ongoing investigation on an alleged inflation of a tender to expand the Hazina Trade Center in downtown Nairobi. Speaking at a press conference earlier this morning, Atwoli says the decision to allow tendering without the board's approval is a gateway to satisfying personal interest. There have been claims that the NSSF board manages awarding of tenders.
It's a purely a procurement issue. That is where we have a problem. And that is why we were saying issue of procurement and tendering must come back to the boards. That law must be amended so that the entire board, all boards are not responsible for procurement and tendering. That was removed from the hands of the board. And also in Kenya, you must understand that big contractors, these major contractors, are owned by politicians. So if the current contractor was either owned by the previous government, the other government which has come in would make sure that it also has its own contractors. That is what is there.
The government has defended its performance, asking Kenyans to be patient with the President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor Jacob Kaimenyi says the country should be patient and stop judging the administration harshly, since it is a regime on transitional period and must therefore experience teething problems. Professor Kaimenyi was speaking during the opening of a 3-day Mount Kenya University Annual Research Innovation Conference at Safari Park Hotel here in Nairobi.
When a country is in transition the way we are, please give us some time to implement the laws. When Kennedy Mwangi is in charge of transition authority, please give him some time. When you are in transition, there will always be hiccups. There will be challenges, but who told you there are no challenges in this world? The fact that there are challenges and hiccups does not mean we are not on track. So when we say as a government we are committed to devolution, I can tell you we mean it. Because we believe people must take control of their destiny. They must be given an opportunity in a consultative and inclusive manner in the way they are governed. That's a fact. So please, if you come up with a new law, like we have this one, on the new commission, as we try or endeavor to implement this law, we expect people to be patient and understanding, and judge us after giving us some time, and we shall do it. Yes, sir.
Parents of deaf children need to learn sign language in order to communicate with their children. Now, this is a proposal by the Undugu Society of Kenya, who maintain that deaf children, especially those from poor backgrounds, live most of their formative years in silence because both their parents and the community at large cannot communicate to them. The society also faulted the education system for not being accommodative enough to enable effective learning by deaf children.
A lot of assistive devices to actually teach deaf people. For example, we need more visible things so that you can reduce more on the theory part and let the education become more practical. The schools, they are very far from the deaf learners. the parents, they do not say language. So, for example, when a hearing child goes to school, when they come back home, the parent can still assist. They teach the child homework. The parent can assist, but for the deaf learners, that is not easy.
Most of the problem with disability is that families have been left to take charge instead of the state. The Constitution is very clear. Article 54, Article 27, and Article 100, that we need to protect the rights of the vulnerable members of our society by providing and facilitating, providing equipment and aid.
We start our county road trip in Nyeri, where an entire chief's camp, including 3 semi-permanent houses in Ebaringo village, that is in Nyeri County, were last night burnt down after a fire broke out in one of the AP houses. Several weapons and rounds of ammunition were burnt in the inferno that is believed to have been caused by a tin lamp. According to the area assistant chief Lydia Muriuki, the fire started at around 8 p.m. and area MP Kanini Kega visited the scene and donated 100,000 shillings from the CDF kitty to assist officers who lost their personal belongings. Kega also urged the county government to come up with a disaster management committee to manage disasters in the county. No one was hurt in the incident.
We have not yet established the cause, but we guess it could be maybe hiyo moto ya taa.
Tumeona moto imekuwa mingi hapa Kieni. Juzi tulikuwa na moto ingine kule Chaka, tumekuwa na ingine hapa Kiawara, na tumeona kwamba moto ikitokea inachoma kila kitu.
We stay near to report a sad story of a miner who was last night sodomized by an unknown man and left by the roadside. Area residents woke up to find the boy half naked and lying on the pavement, shivering from the cold. The miner, who is reported to have escaped from a rehabilitation center, says the armed man attacked him and threatened to kill him if he raised his voice. The boy says the man told him that he had on several occasions failed to get a wife in Nyeri. He then escaped into the dark after conducting the heinous act. Provincial administrations later rescued the boy and took him to Nyeri Provincial General Hospital. The incident comes barely a day after a group of Nyeri elders started holding round-table advisory sessions with the youth in a bid to warn them off the vices.
Anataka kuniua. Nikikataa, aliniambia ataniua. Akanishika na nguvu. Anitolea nguo.
Kijana tumeambiwa alikuwa amechukuliwa rehabilitation center, Bungoma Center, akatoroka usiku, and we have the staffs here and they are the ones we are taking him to the hospital.
Irate residents of Igoji division in Meru County took to the streets along the main Meru-Nairobi highway to protest against the stalled elevation process of the Igoji Teachers College to a fully fledged constituent college of the Kenyatta University. Now, police had to lob tear gas to disperse the rioters, who blamed a local politician for stalling the process. They say the process that started 15 years ago had failed to materialize despite demands from the locals, students and other education stakeholders in the county. Hundreds of commuters were stranded for hours in the morning, with others forced to cancel their journeys altogether. Efforts by the area Deputy County Commissioner Mr. Joseph Kisangao to address the rioters bore no fruits.
Sasa kutoka leo uendelea, watu wa Igoji wameamua na moja kwamba tumefunga Igoji Teachers College mpaka siku ile university itaingia.
Karibu hata sisi tusikie vizuri, sababu kuna ndugu zetu na dada zetu wenye hata hawezi pata fare kujipeleka Nairobi. Ndio tunataka university yetu hapa.
Now, there's a fishy matter in Kisumu where fish traders claim they are losing thousands of shillings as a result of a month-long power shortage in the area. The traders are blaming Kenya Power for disrupting their business over a 7,000 shilling debt. The fishmongers say they have resorted to preserving fish in baskets of ice, which is indeed an expensive venture. Now, the county government pledged to locate a solar ice plant in Kisumu, which can serve as a cold room. The traders, however, say that this promise is yet to be materialized.
Each size of the ice, we buy them at around 50 shillings. We use them for our preservation. It's hard to sell fish when it's bad, but we are now asking the government, under the countership of the Honorable Jack Ranguma, to see on how he can help us on how to get the lights.
Time for our learning segment. And ever wondered how a train moves from point A to B? Well, wonder no more, as Betty Callow is just about to satisfy your curiosity on how things work.
This prophecy in the 17th century, and true to her word, in 1896 the railway construction began from Mombasa to Kisumu. The colonialists dubbed it the Lunatic Express. The British media thought it was a ridiculous idea to build a railway through the jungles of Africa. Centuries later, the ridiculous idea has paid off. Chugging through short distances or across entire continents, trains have become a major mode of transport. Ever wondered how trains work? Tonight, we'll show you how on How Things Work. It is 7 a.m., the busiest hour at the Syokimau train station. Hundreds of people depending on this commuter train that will take them to their destination.
Between Syokimau and Nairobi, we are taking actually 30 minutes to Nairobi. And comparing to 1.5 hours to 2 hours when you're in traffic.
According to its engineers, the train can ferry up to 1,100 people in one trip.
62 people seated, and again another 62 standing, and we have like 7 coaches.
With a huge and thirsty engine that gobbles a whopping 4,800 liters of diesel, 600 tons is its gross tonnage. However, on normal operations, the engine works on half capacity, carrying 300 tons. From this to this, it can only get better. A train is divided into 3 main parts. The first is a train's powerhouse. This is a locomotive cab. It is where the driver sits and navigates the train. It is also home to the engine of the train. The engine is so powerful that it can power 2 Bugatti Veyrons, the world's fastest car. The engine changes the fuel, in this case diesel, to kinetic energy of motion, which propels the train. The second compartment makes up the coaches. This is where commuters sit or stand while on transit. The third compartment is known as a brake van. Here, the train assistant ensures the train stays on the track. This is a diesel-electric train. Just like aircrafts, before any trip, all trains go through checks.
A train starts by what we call marshalling, bringing the coaches together and then attaching the engine on the load. So when the driver puts the power on, then the train starts to roll on the track. It depends now on the terrain. So there's a place where if it's down gradient, he knows that he removes power from it, so the train rolls on its own. On an up gradient, he puts on power, and the engine now climbs the hill.
Operators control the train by using throttle, reversing gear, and brake. Throttle controls the speed of the train, reversing gear enables the train to back up, and the brake enables the train to slow and stop.
If you want to go forward, you push it forward. If you want to park this locomotive, you bring it engine on. If you want to move reverse, on the reverse side, you pull it like this. Then now you power.
While on transit, several procedures have to be followed. A critical one includes the issuing of authority to proceed.
There are people we call the station master on the ground. Now the station master talks to the other station master on the other station, whereby they request for what we call a line clear. Now line clear is an authority to proceed, allowing a train to move from one station to the other.
Just like other means of transport, the train has its own challenges. The Syokimau train, for instance, passes through the Mukuru slums, and over the years, slum encroachment has seen many deaths on the track. The sound and vibrations of the train's engine never shake many, as the slum dwellers casually get off the track when they see an oncoming train.
People are knocked and killed because of their negligence on the track, and then also they have infringed the track, whereby they have built these shanties almost next to the track.
Signals along the tracks keep the train operators informed of traffic conditions ahead, just like the air control tower at the airports. The train control tower ensures the trains do not collude by permitting only one train at a time, especially in heavy traffic areas. Been decades of evolution in train services. Back before the wild ideas of the Wright brothers, many could not travel or ferry goods. However, with the unending thirst of man to become better, all that was impossible is now possible. This is just the beginning. Betty Callow, How Things Work.